Oh, hello. There's my house. I lived in that for 40 days and 40 nights outside the Tavistock Centre in Hampstead in the middle of London. The piece of ground I was on was dictated how I could pitch it. Don't have a great memory, me. But I've watched a few of those fully enclosed tarp setups, so you could pitch it as a tent, you know. So I sort of based what I had before on that, but I didn't like it at all. And the amount of condensation that you get inside is ridiculous. Apparently we exhale 2 pints of moisture during the night. And if you're sleeping in a fully enclosed tarp setup, expect to get wet in there. I found it very wet inside indeed. So I sort of based my tarp setup. I've refined it a bit. I'm on a campsite. And even still last night my sleeping bag got wet with the condensation. So this is how I've pitched it. I won't go through the pitching. It's quite nice to play around with a tarp, you know, adapt it. There is another tab there. I had that pegged out earlier and the back was much lower, but like I said, a lot of condensation in there. So I've raised the back. I also had the back pole, that walking pole, underneath there. And I found with the other pole, it's a bit too close to me in my sleeping bag. So I've moved the back pole to the very back, raised it up so there's a bigger opening which will let more air in. You can see I've pegged out either side of that. I've missed the tab. I've pegged out the next one, or the front three, if you like. I have even, the other day, I put that pole, which is at my sternum height, underneath there. And it was really open, you know, like it would be if you were using it as a tarp strung up between two trees. But we're on a campsite. So, anyway, I don't understand the logic of these fully enclosed tarps. Of course, this is a DD tarp, a 3x3. I got the heavy one, but they didn't do a camouflage tarp in the super light. Otherwise, I would have got one of those. I think it's a bit heavy, personally. I've had tarps before. Previously, I had for many years, I had a genuine army basher, which I think was 6 foot by 9 foot. And I loved that tarp, but it had a lot of wear and tear, so I'll give it to somebody else, seeing as I knew I'd be living in a tarp. I needed something a bit bigger maybe. Anyway, they're happy with what they got, and they'll sort the seams and all that out. But I missed that tarp. You can't get them anymore. I got it from Silverman's in East London, but Silverman's ain't Silverman's anymore. Well, it is Silverman's, but it's just a shop there now with all new stuff in it, not the army surplus gear, which is excellent. So you Tàrpology people will be able to work out how I've pitched this, rather than me boring you to death with putting it up and all that. I can't edit videos and fast forward them and all that sort of thing. So you can see how I've pitched it. I guess you just adapt your pitch to whatever you want. This has got a lot more room in it now, and also should let a lot more air through. Anyway, what we're having tonight for dinner is carbonara. I did it the other day, and I've got the other packet of what Tesco's calls smoked dry cure bacon. Of course, the Italians use something called guanciale, which is cured pig's cheek. You can't get that in Britain for some reason. You got to order it online or go to Harrods or something. But I make it the same way the Italians do. What we've got as a real special treat is I'm on a farm. There's a lovely farmer, Charles. I bought some of his eggs. There's a blue there. That's from a chicken that's slightly blue coloured. That egg. You can see the white and the blue. These were laid by his chickens. He's a free-range organic farmer. Loves the environment. Nice chat. We had an half-hour chat about religion earlier today, which was which was interesting. He said he's an evangelical Christian. If we had to put labels on things, I told him I was more of a Gnostic Christian. If I had to put a label on something, but of course I was a practicing Buddhist rather than a. Got a friend come and say hello. Look. Come and have a look. You don't subscribe, this fly. So sod him. Yeah, I did buy some oil the last place I was at, but didn't get through it, and I hate food waste. So I bought this because I thought I'd be able to carry it, but it's absolute rubbish. Well, it's absolute rubbish anyway for cooking on a camp stove and a thin stainless steel frying pan. This is not dry cured, Tesco. Not dry cured at all. The amount of water that comes out of there is ridiculous. I also tried, I asked for a bag because I wanted to put some new potatoes in it. And they told me they stopped doing plastic a while ago. They wouldn't give me a bag to put some new potatoes in. So what I actually did was I bought new potatoes that were already in a plastic bag. A thicker plastic bag. Anyway, good job. Tesco's don't do plastic anymore. That's what I was told. So we're all very glad about that. No plastic. Great. And what I treated myself to the other day was a little grater. I don't quite know why. Because I can grate stuff on it. But my backpack, whatever idiot packed that backpack, they want shooting. Because it weighs a ton. And I've got a few bits and pieces that I actually need to store somewhere. Some of it's evidence. I've got a couple of little, small cardboard box full of stuff I need to store somewhere. Of course I can't hire a small storage place. I've got to have a whole locker. Anyway, that was my tarp setup. I'm sure you can work out how to pitch something similar. It'll be my first night sleeping in that particular setup tonight. I'll let you know how I get on, maybe, if I think about it. Also, I miss using my twig stove. I love that twig stove from World Camping International. That's my favourite pot. And I did World Camping International a bit of a disservice, because I did say that if you were using the pot on one of these handles are pretty useless because they get really hot. But that's because I'd been putting it on there centrally. But if you put it off centre a bit, you can boil up a cup of tea in there and still use the handles. So sorry about that, World Camping International. These handles are not useless when you boil it on one of these. But I miss my twig stove because I hate using these gas canisters. You know, I'm pretty sure they're not very environmentally friendly. Create a lot of waste. So yeah, I really want to get using my twig stove again. But we're on a campsite here, and I don't think I'm allowed to do that. Besides that, there's not really any twigs. But this is a lovely campsite. It's got the best showers in it I've ever had on any campsite. I'm really looking forward to using a couple of these eggs for my carbonara. Cheers.